Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. So welcome to episode 2 of what we're calling this Motorcycle Maintenance 2024. This is my DRZ 400SM and we are doing some work to it. This is episode 2 as I say, and I'm going to jump straight into it. Okay, so if you remember, it's the bearings in here that we're looking to change, and I had a bearing kit, and as it turns out, I believe this is actually for this job. But there is one bearing missing that I would need still, but that's okay, because if I've got some of them, that's a start. So what I've got left in the kit is this lot. These two shafts are the same, so let's get rid of one of those. That one would fit in there. That one would fit in there. And I think these bearings are the correct size bearings to go in here and in here. Not this one though, because I found this in the kit, which is a used one, which means I used that bearing and shaft somewhere else. Or maybe it was put in here and it's failed. I don't know. I can't remember, and I've tried looking on the videos and it's not helping. But what I do know is the easiest way to find out what we need to do, and we need to do it anyway, is I'm going to try and get the bearings out of this. This may be a mini episode because it's before the weekend. I need to find out what I need to do with that and get all the parts list together, because it seems like Wiimoto might be on board, which is great of them. Now I know I'm going to end up making some sort of puller. I went back over the actual swing arm bearings, the two obviously main ones, and also the third one that's underneath, just to make sure there's no movement in those, and they seem fine. The fact that we felt movement in this side makes me think this is the bit that was the problem. Right, there's one seal. I think this is going to go without saying, this is not advised. We've got the washer with the bolt and nut. It's not centralised, but it doesn't really matter. That's just because the poor man's lathe was a little wobbly. And then we put a socket on, washer, and nut on the back. Don't I have some oil thread around here? Just realised I really should have put a washer on the back of this. I'm not unscrewing it to do it. I'm taking this one out like this. There we go. I knew that was close. There's that bearing out. And I suspect this one, yeah, this one is the smaller one I don't have a replacement of. But it's one of the ones that was worse. Actually, this looks like it's missing. Maybe some fell out. Now there's going to be two in here, and I'm just wondering how. Oh, I think they just come out together. Okay, so now do the same thing. Oh, these stink. I mean, they stink. Why do these bearings smell so bad? They've got that, like, sulphurous used engine oil smell to them. They absolutely stink. So there wasn't a spacer between them. They're just pushed in together. Oh, the gap that I saw was just the rounded gap from the middle of them. Now the question is, are these the same bearings as the ones we've got? Wish I had some. I've got batteries arriving for these today, right? So it's 30 on the outside of the old one. It's 30 on the outside of the new one. Like 15 on the width. 15 on the width. An internal. Is the same. Right, so I'm happy I have the right bearings and I would say shafts. If I can compare one of the shafts, so 20, 45, 15, 20, 45, 15, 45, 20, 15. Cool. That's what I needed to know. So the bearing kit I have is the right bearings to replace this one, and it is the right ones to replace this one. But I have already used that size bearing somewhere else in the bike. Don't know where. I'm guessing I used it for a totally different job, but it just so happens to be the same size. I can't remember. I occasionally make sure that it is still centered and it's not trailing off somewhere, like the bolt pulling the smearing the washer down the inside face or something like that. Of course, to install these we just do the same thing in reverse, but I guess we just have to make sure we only pull them in as far as the seal is deep. Oh, it stinks! This one stinks as well! So, well, as you can see, I need to give that a clean up. I believe these are known as cushion linkages, but it is the linkage. So there you go, all nice and clean. I've made sure it's all clean and smooth inside the bores that take the bearings. As I say, we've got these, we've got the shafts of these, we know we've got that. It's just this one we need, so I need to request that. And I want to put them all in at the same time, so I'll do that when those turn up. But for now, I want to pop the tank off so we can get down to clean it a little bit more. And also flip these, because as I mentioned, basically there's adjusters on the top with a screw that allows you to relieve the pressure inside so it equalises to atmospheric pressure, and it's supposed to be at the top so you can actually get to it with the screwdriver, and it's at the bottom because I put them on upside down. But I will say, in my defence, the writing is then upside down. It says comp at the top correctly, but it has to be the other way around. Actually, first I need to think about where I'm going to put this tank. Tank bolts. And I put the tank bolts in the same box as the bolts for the tank shrouds, because then I know where they belong. Right, I've turned my petcock to on so I can remove the tank. Yes, DRs are weird because it's got a vacuum line on it. As long as there's no vacuum, the petcock won't work. So I've just pulled the vacuum line off, which is a little rubber hose with a clip. And the fuel line, I've undone the clip. And a tip for undoing fuel lines is don't try and pull them straight off, because they stick. Give them a slight twist, and once they start twisting, then they come off easy. Also, have a cloth ready for when it spews out a few mils of fuel, or lots, if you didn't get it right. In my case, a few drips. My turkey baster mod is actually zip tied. Yes, you heard that right. Turkey baster mod is zip tied onto the tank. So I need to cut that, and I don't see my wire snips. There we go. That should be it. Hey! Yeah, that's the turkey baster mod. Well, the paint's looking good. Just need to wipe down with a rag and WD-40 to clean off the grease and dirt that's accumulated. I know there's a couple of little spots I need to... I'm going to get a wire brush and just sort of wire brush away anything that's loose and any rust that's there, treat it, try and prime it with a bit of with a paintbrush, and then paint over it with white. And because it's so white, you don't notice that it's got... I mean, it's not going to have brush strokes because I'm better than that, but you won't notice it. Oh, if you don't know the context, I should mention I sprayed this frame in the garage. Now, the entire reason for the build being done when it was done and pushed was because we were going into COVID lockdown, I think, and I needed something to do videos on during that time, so it pushed forward getting this done. But it also meant I couldn't send the frame to get sprayed by someone else or powder coated. So I did it myself in the garage using Halford's white spray paint. Oh yeah, and a clear coat from rattle cans. And the results are absolutely great. You can watch that video, there are no runs, the paint looks smooth and nice. I've asked people over the years, you know, I'm like, what do you think of the paint? They're like, well, what about it? I'm like, does that look like a rattle can job? And they're like, no, that's factory, isn't it? No. As I don't think you're going to want to watch me wipe this bike over with a rag because you won't really see the difference yourself, I'll probably do that myself over the weekend with a bit of music on and just chill out. Not recording because, as I say, it's just cleaning a bit. So, knowing we have to wait for parts of that and can't do anything with that yet, I haven't done enough in this video yet. So let's sort out this issue. I'll show you. Hopefully, yeah, there you go. You can see it says comp, as in compression, soft and hard. And you can see how you could access the top of here. Well, unfortunately, I need to access that screw, which is on the bottom and it's underneath the bars. So, flippy flip. To do that, we'll just have to loosen off these, loosen off anything holding on to this, and then just twist it in place. The two things we have to make sure we get right when we spin these is, one, the height above the yoke, so how much the tube protrudes out the top. I've measured that, so I know what that is, and I've got it locked on a set of calipers. We also have to make sure we do up the bolts back to the correct torque spec. But for now, I can just loosen this one off. This one. And loosen the fork guard holder. Because thankfully these spin, these aren't locked in place like you get on some bikes. Is this even in shot down here? Oh, yeah, just about. But I was in the way. This thing. See, now it will spin. Right, so in theory, we can spin this tube. That didn't budge at all in height. So I'm just going to quickly nip one or two so it doesn't move. So I need to get the torque specs because I can't remember what they are. So let me do the other side. One thing to check is, was the height the same to start with? Bang on, so that's good. So again, loosen this side. Okay, and spin again. Hopefully it'll be as easy as the other one. Yes, it is. I think I put a little bit of grease in here, so it's pretty much helping us. You moved. That's annoying. Okay. Got it. Quick, tighten it up before it moves. I just basically held onto the tube and pulled up. Don't twist it too much, nope. Oh, damn you for being... Oh, that came off again. That's been super glued on and that's come off. No, up there. Right, I need to get the weight off the front of this. As I say, I haven't opened these bleeders forever, so I'm imagining you're going to hear a hissing sound now. Or a sucking. Just a little... There we go. Got it. There we go, there's a little suck from each side, but it's good that they're now at the right atmospheric pressure and we can get to them. I just need to find torque specs. Well, that's cool, because that was one of the really annoying things. Oh, I need to tighten these up. We are not done. Hold on. Well, I'm glad I've got that done. That was a really annoying thing that I've been meaning to do for ages, but as you can imagine, it's not something you want to just do on its own. But it's done, so that's good. As I say, I need to order the parts, so I'm going to call this an end to part 2. And as I say, over the weekend, I'm going to just give this a wipe down with a cloth, just to find where there is damage with the paint, because that's just going to be this. Boring, right? So yeah, I'm going to get that done, and in episode 3, as I thought we would, that would be when we're putting the bearings back into the swing arm and putting the back wheel on and making sure that that bit of movement's gone. And then, if that's the case, it's going to be drop oil and do that and a little bit of paint touch-ups, but really easy. That I'm glad about. There's also a couple of bolts and nuts that have gone rusty. And that's one thing I will say, I wouldn't, when you take old bolts and you clean them up to make them look newer, you take the galv off them and then they just rust quicker. So even though they were losing it and that's why they were rusting, you do make them look nicer for now, but then it makes them look worse quicker after. So yeah, I'm going to see what I will do about that. I don't think I'm going to replace them, I'll just clean them up, you know, with some oil and a brush, and then they get that layer of base rust that won't change too much. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to help support this channel, please consider doing that through Patreon. That gives you benefits like videos early, gets you into my Discord, which is a private Discord, which is absolutely great. You can come and play Call of Duty with us, or talk to us, or whatever. It's a great community over there. Look, they're calling themselves a cult these days. It's not a cult, okay? As I said to someone who joined yesterday, look, they're a handful, you'll get used to them, but they're lovable. Join Discord, honestly, yeah. And or you can support me through my Etsy store, where I've got stickers and keychains for sale still. In fact, I'm about to send a keychain off to Hawaii, so thank you for whoever ordered that. And t-shirts are also available, links in the description. There you go, that's all the merch plugging. I'm going to go until the next episode. Thank you for joining me. When that episode is, I'm not entirely sure. I imagine there's going to be a little bit of a gap because I've got to wait for the parts to arrive, and that's probably not going to be till Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. But we'll get on as soon as we can. Bye-bye.